Hello everyone, welcome back. This is my lesson plan for my 11th grade US history class. This lesson will take 50 minutes and it is on domestic violence in America. Basically, we will be learning about the rise of domestic violence in America, the history behind it, and its correlation to the women's rights movement. As a social constructivist, it's very important for me to validate students' knowledge and misconceptions before entering the classroom, and with my knowledge we will form a better understanding of this topic. Um, these are my standards: 11.10 and 11.11. These are my common core standards right here. These are my ELD standards, collaborative and interpretive, because again, I am a social constructivist, so I'm all about think, pair, share, explaining group work, and hearing everyone's voices in the classroom. Through my lesson, students will be able to analyze the rise of domestic violence culture up to the women's rights movement in the 1960s, evaluate the difference between a healthy and unhealthy relationship, and explain how women's demand for civil rights and representation motivated violence against women. Um, so now my instructional strategies and differentiated instruction is done through an exit ticket out the door, and also a lot of think, pair, share to compare and contrast ideas. Again, because this provides an opportunity for everyone to be heard in the class. Because again, I am a social constructivist. Um, these are my SADI techniques and practices, and this is how I will be doing my lesson. I will hand out a vocabulary sheet and a worksheet for later. We will start by defining domestic violence as a class, hearing everyone's voices, and afterwards we will watch a short minute and a half clip to reinforce what we had just defined ourselves. I will start off with an introduction on women's civil rights movements. This is again where I pass out the papers. Then we will move on a few minute lecture on the rise of domestic violence up to the 1960s, and then the last 2 minutes we will pair share class discussion to wrap up what we had just learned. Then we will go on to lecture on the events of women's rights movement. Last 2 minutes, pair share class discussion, lecture on the difference between healthy and unhealthy relationships. Last 2 minutes, pair share class discussion, and this is my favorite part and the students' favorite part. Um, they will be going into groups and we will formulate an example of a healthy and unhealthy relationship on their worksheet. They must also define the correlation between domestic violence and the women's movement using at least two vocabulary words in the form of because statements. For example, there's a correlation between women's rights movement and the domestic violence because, and then one or two will share their examples um, depending on how much time we have allocated. And then to see what they have learned and if they understand and what I need to do for the next class um, to re-explain something or whatnot. I will be doing a ticket out the door, a quick write where they explain in a few sentences one of the vocabulary words for today's lesson, along with any other information they wish to explain. Um, yeah, and that is it. Here are my resources, more so my breakdown, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.